Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Comic Book Geezers. I'm your host, Pete, and my co-host extraordinaire over here.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Wild Bill, the Unknown Comic. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of Comic Book Geezers. We're going to do an episode about Ant-Man.
That's right, the little tiny guy, right?
Yeah.
Who first debuted way back in like the early 60s in both the Avengers and Tales to Astonish. I forget
which one.
I forget which one came first.
Well, let them find out. It's up to you to find out. You tell us everything else. Do some homework, damn
Anyway,
it.
an old character, right? So
Yeah.
he was part of the original Avengers lineup.
I know he also showed up in this title called Marvel Feature Presents. And the first four issues of this had to deal with the Defenders. Mm-hmm. Right? Because the Defenders first appeared in this title before they got their own title.
That is correct.
And they went as far as issue 4. And then issue
5.
3.
Issue 3, actually, because issue 4
issue 4
is Ant-Man right there.
Oh, I stand corrected.
That's
So
okay.
the first three are the Defenders. That's a good cover. Put that up there.
Yeah, this is a pretty good cover. I just got this recently. It's kind of beat up, the issue itself, but I only paid $5 for it, so it's pretty good. And I think this ran, I don't know how, you got a bunch of them. But
I paid $2.50 for this one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. So they gave, like I said, Ant-Man first was seen throughout many years in the Avengers and Tales to Astonish.
Yeah, he had his, in Tales to Astonish, he was solo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. But he just never long lasting having his own solo book for whatever reason. Quite frankly, I'm not a big fan of the character, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's like, yeah, he's Ant-Man and he gets small. It's like, so what?
And what else?
You know?
Yeah, right.
I mean, do you have any atomic waste that needs to be examined? We got to get Ant-Man in
Poor
there.
Hank Pym, right?
Yeah. The guy's a genius. I like the first movie that came out with...
The second one's even better, actually.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, the second one's even better.
But then I have number 9. I only have the 5, 7, and 9 on the Marvel feature. And I picked up these at a con. So I did okay with these. These are like $3. These other two I'm showing you. So
eventually, the character Ant-Man in the Avengers, he also figured out a way to not only make himself really small, but make himself, really big.
Big.
So, and he became Giant Man for many, many years.
What a 180 Twilight Zone flip.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
And Ant-Man to Giant Man.
Yeah. And I think if I remember correctly, in a lot of the old Avengers comics where he became Giant Man, it's not like they did in the movies where he can go big and small, big and small. He basically stayed as Giant Man for a number of years because, quite frankly, wouldn't you rather be a big giant, strong guy, right? So, but we got some more. Bill's got some more issues where he would appear.
So he gets established in the '60s, and then he starts popping up as guest appearances in other titles like The Incredible Hulk. And here's one particular example.
Yep.
This is issue 164 or 54.
154.
Yeah, this is 154, a 20 center. This is probably from 1972 or 73, somewhere in there. Or it could be early 74. 1974 is when they went up to 25 cents.
I didn't bring it, but I have an appearance where he shows up in a very old issue of Fantastic Four where they're fighting Dr. Doom. He
shows up again in the Hulk here. And this is issue 227. So this is right at the beginning of my high school subscription of the Hulk. This came in my subscription. This was I think my subscription started like 3 or 4 issues before this. So this is obviously my first year, the first year of my Hulk subscription. And he's looking pretty big as Ant-Man there. He looks like regular man.
He probably is Giant Man there, actually. We got the Wasp there, so of course the Wasp is part of
this.
He
looks pretty big. Even though he's in the background, maybe he is Giant Man. He's almost as big as the Hulk and he's dwarfing Iron Man.
Yep.
And who's he grabbing? Is that Nick Fury?
I don't know.
Who's he grabbing? That looks like... No, it's not Nick Fury.
To save the life of Hulk's other self. So it looks like Bruce Banner. I don't know what that's. I haven't read that one, so I don't know.
And they got Thor in the background. I read it like 30-some-odd years ago. Didn't do my homework. But he did show up in Iron Man also.
Yep.
And ironically, there's the Hulk again. And this is the guy who eventually becomes Iron Man. Later on.
Captain Brody, right?
Yep.
Also becomes War Machine.
There he is.
And I'm assuming that's Janet the Wasp next to him, I would guess, right?
That's the missus, yes. This is 133.
133.
Then, that's it for me with my Ant-Man collection, because he also... This character got around with different identities, right? He became Yellowjacket in the Avengers.
Yep. So he went from
Ant-Man
to Giant Man to Yellowjacket.
I think Yellowjacket's better. I
always liked the Yellowjacket.
Yellowjacket is my favorite, I would say, out of the three.
So interesting though. Here you see. Well, but wait, Pete. Giant Man's here, but this is actually Clint Barton, otherwise known as Hawkeye, who somehow got the power to become Giant Man, and he also became Giant Man for a while.
It's too bad he couldn't become Giant Hawkeye with a bow and arrow.
That would have been pretty cool, right? It's like, what, did he forget his bow and arrow?
I'm thinking
when he got big? I mean, how does that work?
I'm thinking of Leonardo da Vinci. If anyone knows anything about Leonardo da Vinci, he drew blueprints for a giant crossbow to sell as a military weapon. Of course, it was never built, but I've seen the blueprint. So I'm thinking Giant Man could have a giant Leonardo da Vinci crossbow.
Right. Just because it became big, I can't imagine.
We're talking like big as a catapult.
Yeah,
it was like another.
That would have been interesting. Why Stan Lee? You missed out on that.
Yeah, should have did your Leonardo da Vinci homework. Here's another Yellowjacket. Here he is on the cover. This is Avengers 138.
It's the Stranger.
Yeah, who fought the Silver Surfer?
That's right.
In issue 5.
Yep, he got around.
And then you got issue 139. More Yellowjacket on the cover. I just picked anything that I could. And there's his wife.
Yep, there's Janet.
You know, I don't know what her story was, what her illness was.
She was lame.
Yeah.
God,
she complains a lot too.
Oh my God!
I'm going to tell you later on.
The worst was in the Secret Wars storyline, man. Oh, she was unbearable in that.
So
God,
here he is again. This one, he's like in a coma, and he's huge. He's like giant Yellowjacket. He's huge. He's a big. He's getting bigger and bigger. There's like some kind of evil. I forgot the details, but some villain did something to him.
Oh, yeah, poor Hank Pym, man.
And he's getting bigger by each passing moment. So in the story, he's actually getting huge.
That's a great cover, as are a lot of those Avengers covers.
There's an anniversary issue of Avengers 150.
You got Moondragon there too. Moondragon and
here she is right up there. Moondragon.
Moondragon there. And
a lot of people are.
Is that the cat right there?
A lot of people are not the fans of Moondragon.
Yeah, I was kind of dug her. I don't like bald women, but I mean, I thought she had great powers. So that's another great cover.
I bought this because it's the 200th issue, and he's on there somewhere.
Yeah, he's there.
Yellowjacket, where are you? I know you're in here. What? There he is, down under here.
That's right. Now he's small there.
Yeah. So. I got one other, but we'll save it.
Yep. So I got. So this was like in 1979. So the Marvel Premiere series, which also was another way to kind of introduce or new characters or old characters again to see if people pick up on it and all that kind of stuff. Well, Ant-Man found his way into a couple issues here.
This is a classic Marvel Premiere cover.
Yeah.
This is a classic cover for Ant-Man. This one here.
I like this a lot. I think that's why I bought it, because like I said, I was never a big fan, but I remember being a kid, I saw this on the stand. I was like, yeah, you know what, I got to get that. And that was the premiere issue.
And then what's this, part 2?
This is part 2 right here.
So this is the very next issue?
Yeah. So 47 and 48.
I have number 50.
And then he would disappear again. And
I have Marvel Premiere number 50. You know who's on the cover?
Which one is that?
Alice Cooper.
Oh, that's the Alice Cooper one. Okay.
His first only appearance on a comic book, I believe.
Because all the ones right before this were the 3D Man, who I thought was really cool. And I got to get that Alice Cooper one. That's cool stuff. Yeah,
I got that at a con. And then the last one.
We're not going to show you the whole book, because we'll spoil the surprise for a future episode.
I'm being sneaky. I got to show you this. Down at the bottom. What if Yellowjacket had died? So this, I just read this last night. I've had this in my collection for years. I only have 2 what ifs. But anyway.
So what if he died?
There'd
be no more Yellowjacket, no more Giant Man, no more Ant-Man.
He dies because there's this, I don't even know the villain's name. I read it last night, but there's this evil woman who's got like power, like, I guess like equivalent to like Phoenix. And the Avengers are trying to confront this female villain. And Hank gets involved and kind of puts himself in a line of fire. And the villain throws a truck with her power. It's like an explosion. And this big, heavy truck crushes him. That's how he dies. They just show a panel of him being crushed.
And that's it.
That's it. And then they just talk about him being dead. They don't even show the villain throwing it. But the whole issue, this is 3 different stories in this book. It's a what-if title. And I'm not showing it because I need to just do it for another episode that we're taping today. That's why I'm not showing you. So anyway, she pisses and moans through the whole ordeal about how they didn't have his back. And she's really pissed at Captain America, like holds him responsible for Hank's death. And at the end, she quits the Avengers. She walks out. And they don't do anything to stop her. Like, oh, please stay. We need you. What's her name? Jan?
Janet, yeah.
They're like, oh, and she walks out, and then she's thinking to herself, oh, wow, they don't even say, please don't go. And Cap's like, well, you know, we got a vacancy. We got to put out applications now. It's like
useless.
Yeah, like he. Yeah.
I never liked the Wasp.
She was really mad about Hank. The Avengers let him put himself in a line of danger. And he took the brunt of it when the rest of them couldn't.
That's what you do when you're a superhero, right? You know.
Yeah, but she blamed them for his death. So there was a lot of bad blood in that little 12-page story, man. Jesus. But yeah, she was all piss and vinegar. So
there's a reason why the Wasp is never mentioned when people talk about the best Marvel superheroines, right? Because she sucks.
Yeah,
she was never any good.
I don't know what her deal is.
I never liked the Wasp, man. You know, you could talk about. I mean,
you think if you use your superpower and go, well, what was happening is she was fighting crime and kicking ass. And then they were like, they had a talk with her, like, you know, and towards the end of the story, like, you know, you need to tone it down. And she's like, what? I'm fighting crime. What's the problem? Maybe you need to toughen up, Cap. Yeah, she was really taking vengeance on criminals.
Wow.
And they were coming down on her like, you know, you're almost as bad as the criminals with your excessive force. And she's like, kiss my ass. I quit.
Maybe she needed a little bit of fire injected into her, right?
So,
Jesus. Yeah, it's funny because as lame as...
a couple more there, don't you?
No, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
I thought you had more.
No, that's it.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, as lame as, like, you know...
She is.
Like, well, no, not even her, but, like, sometimes, like, especially, like, when I'm reading, like, the old Fantastic Four stuff, you know, Susan Storm sometimes.
With the bickering.
Just whining and crying all the time and, like, oh, we cry, Rita. It's like... But at least she had cool powers. When she would actually do something, she was pretty formidable. But, man, the Wasp...
I don't know.
No good. Give me Black Widow any day, man.
Yeah.
Wasp, forget it.
I don't know.
So, anyway.
They were like backup supporting characters. They were never mainstream characters. No. Ant-Man or the Wasp, Yellowjacket.
No.
But anyway, that wraps up Ant-Man. It's a small episode, small as an ant. There you go. I'm Wild Bill saying thanks for being here on the show. There's no ants in here. This is my apartment. What are you talking about? Get the hell out of here. This show is over, damn it.
And I'm Pete, guys. Take care. We'll see you again next time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.